Hi everyone, this is Natasha. I want to share with you some of these Kraft Doilies that I made using the Cottage Cuts Tea Time Doily die. And it's this extrusion foam covered die. The foam piece comes separately. Just peel and stick it and then run it through whichever machine you're using. And in addition, since I'm probably going to toss the actual packaging and put it in a storage container that I keep all of my dies, I did go ahead and label it so I know when I go to use it in projects, especially when I show the projects on video, I can always let you guys know what company it's from. So this is the Cottage Cuts Tea Time Doily 4x4 die. Easy for me to remember. And this does not interfere at all with the die cutting process. So many of you know I'm not really a shabby chic design kind of girl. I definitely gravitate towards craft. There's something very earthy and utilitarian to me about it. So I was using this craft paper. Ooh, as I almost knock over things on my desk. That's actually it's packaging material, you know, outside packaging material for mailing that I picked up a tube of from Dollar Tree. And it has a substantial amount. I've already used quite a bit of it for packaging and for craft supplies. I also make exterior envelopes for cards. And since so many of my cards have an element of craft to them, I thought, well, this would be really cool. That's actually why I picked up this particular die. And I did get this from Blitsy, and I'll include my referral link in the description below. So I thought I could totally cut this out of this paper. The wonderful benefit of using that craft packaging material is that this particular die, I did attempt it with printer paper, which is just plain white, you know, everyday, I think it's 60-pound weight paper. It was just a little too thin. The intricate cuts, when you went to go tap out the refuse, the little pieces in between, it was just too thin. But this material, this particular packaging material, is just ideal for this application. Cardstock is too thick, and the printer paper is just too thin. So I'm going to show you how I cut this. I've prepped some squares. I just have 4x4 squares. As you can see, they do bend a little bit. I've had these pressed underneath some heavyweight items on my desk for, I think, since yesterday. So, and that's because they were on a roll. But still, for $1, I can make an enormous amount of these if I want to. You know, and I do use this for envelopes, so it's a really nice item to have on hand. So let me go get my Cuttlebug and I will show you the sandwich and a couple of tips on how to get this intricate design cut thoroughly. Okay, so I have my Cuttlebug open. It's not going to suction on because I have the mat right here. But in order to cut it with a Cuttlebug, I'm going to need the base A plate. And my plates are quite loved. You'll also need a C plate, which is thicker than the B plates in order to accommodate the thin die. I'm also going to use a shim, and this is a 110-pound weight cardstock folded in half, and this gives just enough leverage. And then a B plate, which will be what the die cuts into. So you can see it's just slightly warped because I did use it a few times, and the image gets scored in, which is fine, not a problem. So let me get the sandwich all together and I'll show you how it runs through. Okay, so I have the A plate down, C plate, and then I'm placing the die cut face up, the cut surface, the foam surface up. I'm going to grab one of the squares, lay it right over it. Then, actually, I'm going to put the cardstock down first. That way I don't have to worry about it warping on top of the B plate. And then, look at my camera in front, so place that down and then run it through. I'm going to run it through forwards. Wait here till it clicks. and then run it back. Now the reason I'm doing that is because roller machines like this and Big Shots work on pressure, and over time, as you could see, some of these are still stuck inside, but they did cut through. That pressure in between the, the rollers, the sandwich that you make in between the rollers, there's a couple places where they're called sweet spots, where they cut more precisely, or they're much more clean cuts. So let me take all this off and show you. So it did cut through, which is what we wanted, but now there's all these little pieces that are still stuck inside. So you have a couple of tricks that you could use. Initially, what I do, if there's not a lot, I always have my little pick on hand. It's a little pointed pick. But first I do this. I just run my nails gently, because remember, this is thinner paper. And most of the time that takes care of it. Another thing you could do is, if you have one of those lint rollers and you want to use up, a sheet per each one of these, which I think might be a little bit of a waste, you can roll that over there. It'll pick up all the little loose pieces, but you also have to be careful not to rip the doily. But this works pretty nicely. And then I just go through, and if there's any loose little pieces that still haven't let go, I just poke them out. And then what really helps is having a cordless little hand vac, because you'd be amazed at how much, because you press this through rollers, how much static cling they have. So when you stand up, you'll be covered by all these little pieces. So that's it. That's how easy that is. It cut through nicely. You'll have to decide, you'll have to figure out for yourself how much of a shim you might need. And again, each machine will function differently, depending on its age, depending on its, the volume of use. Some don't need a shim at all, but I find that having a shim on hand, again, this is 110 pound weight cardstock folded in half, and it covers a nice surface area, so I don't have to worry about, is a piece of it not shimmed up. So it's that easy. And because I posted a photo of these adorable little doilies on my Facebook page already, there's been some interest. I will, depending on how much interest there is, make packs of these available for sale for those of you who can't get your hands on either this Cottage Cuts Tea Time Doily die or craft paper that's this thin. So as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, don't forget to thumbs up. It's free for you and it helps me out. And if you have any suggestions that you would like for future videos, by all means, please ask, please request. I'll be more than happy to accommodate if I can. Thanks for watching, everyone.